Welcome to the Purchasing Vendor Guidelines training video. Here we will review the process for identifying authorized vendors as well as utilizing routine POs for products and services. In order to access the Purchasing Vendor Guidelines tool, you'll need to first go to the Greystone intranet page. Under the Resources section of the intranet page, when you scroll down, you will see the option for Purchasing Vendor Guidelines. Once here, you'll be able to select your facility. With our example, you'll be able to see all facilities, but each user should be able to only access the facility that you work at. So here, we're going to select our example. Once we've done that, we will go ahead and see that the next pop-up will be for your department. This is where you're going to select which department you work for, or which service or product that you're wanting to research. For our example, we're going to go ahead and select Maintenance and Plan Ops. You'll notice once we've done that, two things happened. One, we had some vendors populate here onto the right, and then we also had our Select Services box populate as well. Here you can select specifically what you're looking for. If you're not sure of the vendor that is populated, another option for you is a keyword search. This field is useful when you're not exactly sure on what vendor or what service is applicable to your specific needs. The only caveat is that keyword has to be identified with that vendor. For our example here, we're going to go ahead and search by fire alarm. And we'll notice that the vendor list is narrowed down. We're going to go ahead and select the vendor and see what options become available. Here you'll see we've been given the vendor's name, address, phone number, their website, a contact rep if we have one. You'll see here the routine PO number. Now this is similar to what you guys have received in the past. The only difference is you will need to make sure that when you use this routine PO number, that you are correctly referencing your facility number here on the characteristics that I've had highlighted. Also, what's provided is the facilities that this vendor is authorized to be utilized at, what department they're associated with, any services. Here are the next option, limitations. You'll see we've identified with this vendor here, you can utilize up to $1,000 on annual inspections. Also, notes are provided. And here is where you would see the keywords that are entered into the Purchasing Vendor Guidelines tool that will help you searching for specifics on what you're needing. Also, this vendor happens to have an attachment, so when we click on it, we'll see that it populates directions on how to place a service call. Not all vendors identified in the tool will have an attachment. Some will have multiple. It will just depend. Once you're done, you can choose to exit out of the tool, or you can just simply hit close. Once you hit close, it will actually take you back to the very beginning. We're going to go ahead and do another example. We're going to select our facility. This time, as opposed to maintenance and plan ops, we're going to select nursing. And then I'm not even going to bother searching for service or enter a keyword. Let's say I already know the vendor that I want to contact. I'm going to select them. And then you'll again see here the detailed information provided, my routine purchase order number, the department's supplies. Make sure that you always read your limitations and notes. We'll see here the specifics, and we'll notice for this specific vendor we see that we have an actual attached formulary, and when we open that we can reference and see the products that we would be purchasing through this vendor. Now these products might not be listed in detail on the keyword search. You can imagine on how long this field would be if we added every characteristic, but we did add the main categories. I've got my information here, so I'm going to go ahead and close it. And just to kind of recap the purchasing vendor guidelines, the tool is allowing the end users to quickly identify authorized vendors. This tool will replace the routine purchase order listing that our department, the purchasing department, has issued out in the past. The other recap is to make sure that you read all of the limitations, notes, and attachments regarding a vendor. You may be familiar with them, but it is important to make sure that as this new tool is rolled out, that any new documentation or new limitations or any other information that we feel relevant to utilizing the vendor, we want everyone to be familiar with them. Thank you for watching.